Welcome to the Let's Talk BS podcast. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Sofia, and we're coming to you live from the
757, where we discuss real estate,
culture, and current events.
Good morning, Sophia. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Can't complain. It's Friday. I told you, my second favorite day of the week.
Payday.
Yeah.
It
is payday. Yeah, we get paid today.
People.
Yeah, we definitely get paid today. That's true. I know we were gone last week, so I hope our listeners out there,
Move your water bottle. It's like right in front of your face.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I hope our listeners out there missed us, right?
We missed last week.
Yeah, we took the week off.
Yeah.
You know, it was Memorial Day weekend. I know you were out of town, right?
I was, yep.
Cool. How did that go? How was
It was fun. Yeah, I had some friends come up, and I was also at my cousin's house, so we all hung out, chilled, grilled, you know. He made actually quite a few dishes. This was the first time I really didn't cook anything. I made a salad, a Cobb salad. That was it.
Okay.
He made etouffee, rice and beans.
That sounds good.
Jambalaya. He fried some fish, and he made some ribs on the grill. Now, listen, y'all, the combination really don't make sense, but it was good.
I was about to say that, too.
You had to.
But everything I like, though, I can't knock it, because everything you said was stuff that I would eat. So
exactly.
I put all that on one plate.
No, everybody was like, oh, I'm going to eat some etouffee. That was that. And then I'm going to eat some ribs and salad. That's that. And then, you just kind of nibbled away.
Okay.
And then I did make a dessert. I made a cookies and cream Rice Krispie treat.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. I made 2 pans of it, and I made cookies. Okay. And they killed that.
Oh, I bet.
Back to back. It's crazy. I even came home and remade it. Killed it.
Okay. That's what's up.
I don't know what it is about those cookies and cream Rice Krispie treats, but they love them. Yeah,
my sister, she makes, typically around the holiday time, she makes this Rice Krispie treat, but it's like it has peanut butter incorporated in the Rice Krispie.
Okay.
And then at the top, like, layer is chocolate. So it's like Rice Krispie, then it's like peanut butter, inside the Rice Krispie, and then it's like a chocolate layer on it. So you cut it up.
I might have to try that.
Yeah, it's really good. Like I know I always get in trouble. I told her last year, so typically she makes like a tray, like a cookie sheet of it. But last year I was like, because we have like, also like a circle cookie sheet, I guess. I don't know if you call it a cookie sheet, but a circle, container that you can cook in. Yeah, right. So because it's smaller, I was like, yo, can you make it in this? Because I will literally eat the whole thing. Yeah.
That's so funny.
And on top of it, it's smaller, so I won't eat the whole, like the cookie sheet, like I would literally eat the whole thing, and it's pretty big. So at least the circular version of it is a lot smaller.
Oh, so wait, you're the only one that eats it for the most part?
No, I mean, everybody eats it, but, during the holiday times, it's, how it is, it's like so many desserts we have. So that's the one I kind of lock in on and eat. Like, we typically got, sweet potato pies, we got apple pies, maybe some cakes and stuff like that. So everybody kind of nibbles on a little bit of everything. But I normally just get like maybe some sweet potato pie, and then I lock in on that and finish that off. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's cool. So you was out of town, like you said, for the Memorial weekend?
I took my oldest and my little cousin to King's Dominion.
Okay. How was that? I ain't been to King's Dominion, man, since...
I wasn't there. I dropped them off.
Oh, you dropped them off? Oh, okay.
I did. Okay. I actually dropped them off. That was the first time I dropped her off at a theme park.
Oh, okay.
Right?
That's
Came back
a big step there. Next thing you know, you'll be dropping her off at college.
Listen.
Uh-oh. Did I go too far?
No.
Okay.
You didn't go too far.
Okay.
If you could speed up time, look.
That's funny.
No, but yeah, honestly, soon she'll be driving. She might be driving herself to King's Dominion. I don't know.
It's crazy. A little funny thing about King's Dominion. So, obviously I grew up here in this area, and there was we call it, I don't even know what you call it, man, but after the prom, right, everybody goes to King's Dominion. So that was like a thing for high school here locally. So, proms.
After the prom?
Yeah, so let me explain it. I know you're very literal, so I know that you're probably not going to understand what I mean by that, but I'll explain it. It'll probably make a little bit more sense.
Okay.
So, the proms are typically on Friday nights, right? So after the prom, right, the next day, Saturday, right, everybody goes to King's Dominion. And so it was cool because that was something, like I said, it was just an untold thing. Like, I know it happened, from all 4 years I was in high school, even the years beforehand. It was just a thing that you do. Like, the very next day, everybody wakes up, everybody hops in, whoever's driving, whoever has vehicles, and you drive up and spend the whole day at Kings Dominion. I actually got pictures. I'm gonna see if I can find on my phone. I actually got pictures of that day. Yeah, in my phone. Well, a couple of the bros, we were sitting on the bench, trying to look cool or whatever, and somebody snapped a picture of us or whatnot. So I actually seen it on my Facebook a couple of months ago. I don't know why. I think maybe somebody posted it as like a memory or something like that. But yeah, that's like a thing we used to go. And I think I'm trying to think. I may have went to Kings Dominion maybe like one time after that, but that's the last time I've been to Kings Dominion. I ain't been to Kings Dominion in a long time. It's
in the middle of nowhere. It's actually right down the street from my cousin's house. Like,
so he lives in the middle of nowhere.
He does.
Okay.
He does. Yes. And so let me tell you, I do not like driving in the country. I lived in Michigan. If you're not in the city, you could potentially be in the country. And I know what it's like being out on the road or on the highway and a deer just jumps out of nowhere and jumps right in front of your car. They don't control themselves, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to a car. So I specifically told these little brats,
sure.
I said, hey, be out of the park at 8 o'clock. I said, because I don't really want to drive on these country roads at night. 8:15 rolls by. 8:30 rolls by. 8:45 rolls by.
Uh-oh.
I said, oh, no. Y'all gonna be staying the night here because I'm about to go. Then next thing you know, they'll come walking out the park.
What time did you drop them off?
3.
3, okay.
3:30.
That's not bad then.
3:37 to be exact.
Oh, gosh, you knew the exact time. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad then. I was thinking that you maybe dropped them off like earlier, like, 10, 11 o'clock. I was going to be like, they was there literally all day.
Oh, no. And it was funny because what I didn't know is if you have a military ID, you actually get into the park for free.
That makes sense.
Didn't know that.
That makes sense.
That was new news for me. Because, I dropped my daughter off. I waited till I saw her get through the gates, the first set of gates, the security. Because, as theme parks, it's like you got to go through different, like, it's the ticket area. Then you got to go through the security. Then it's like, yeah. So I waited as far as I could to watch her walk in. So then I texted her and was like, hey, are you guys safely within the park? She was like, oh, yeah, and I got in for free. I said, how you get in for free? Mm-hmm. She said the lady thought that she was active duty.
Why was she
because of her ID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so now the military IDs, it used to be where it was like this laminate picture. It didn't even make sense. I remember getting it for the very first time, and I was like, this bootleg ID, like anybody can make this. Like I can go home and replicate this. But the military got smart and they started making the IDs look kind of similar to the active duty IDs.
Okay.
And so whoever I guess was at the gate thought that she was active duty, hit by it. She was playing along with it. Mm-hmm. They were like, so how long you been in? She was like, no, what did she say? She was like, not long. Like answering it to where...
Correct.
She wasn't lying, but she wasn't quite telling the truth. And I was like, girl, why did you do that? She was like, I mean, I look like a kid. She was like, they thought that I was in the military. Joke's on them. I was like, girl, you crazy. But she got in, and then they stayed there all day. And then I almost hit a deer on the way back.
Oh, so you saw a deer on the way back?
Not just one.
Oh, you saw multiple deer?
It was 3.
Oh, they were all together? Or you talking about 3 different instances?
3 different instances.
Oh, God.
One of them was getting ready to cross the street. He was looking both ways.
You said the deer was looking both ways?
Right. And then the other, it was a mommy and a baby. They were kind of like inland a little bit, so I wasn't too worried about them. Then there was another one that was kind of like at the edge of the highway, but turned towards the woods.
Okay.
But, deers, they can easily just pounce. It's like, I don't know, they have that movement where,
they do.
So
were they big though? Were they like the baby deer?
The one that looked both ways was big.
Oh, it was big.
He was experienced.
Okay. He was experienced.
He was looking like this. I said, no, please don't come out here. Please don't come out here. I don't feel like going. Like, I don't feel like going to the shop. It's not that I'm scared that we're going to, get hurt and all that stuff. It's just the after part, right? Having to get my car back to where we are, because you're thinking about it. We're out in the middle of nowhere, so there's no what my name brand of my car is there, right? Then, getting it fixed, waiting for it, having to get a loaner car, all the other things that come with getting into an accident. So I was like, I don't have time for this shit.
Was there like a lot of people, like, so when you left, was there a lot of people at the park, like, leaving at the same time? So were you, like, the only one on the road type of thing? Or was it, like, other people, like, kind of filing out at the same time?
So those people probably got on the highway.
Gotcha. So they were probably going somewhere different in the direction than you.
Yeah, because I was going back into the country to go back to my cousin's house. So those people probably got on 95 and just, rode the regular highway. But that would have been, I would have literally did a loop around as opposed to just taking this. When I say that they live down, when you come out of my cousin's little neighborhood, you turn left, you ride that street for 20 minutes, and Kings Dominion is on the left. Okay. Like, there's no twists, no turns, no nothing. It's just this one country road.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was that. And then we came home. Just been, keeping up with house stuff. Okay. I cut grass for the first time yesterday in years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not by myself. I just did like 2 or 3, what is it called? Paths? Rows?
Yeah, I don't even know what you call it, but yeah.
You're like lines, strips.
Yeah, strips, yeah.
I did 2 or 3
So can you, well, I guess.
My backyard ain't that big.
Yeah, Bob, I said, did you consider?
My whole backyard is probably about 7 paths.
Oh, okay.
So, I did.
Okay. So then, yeah, I was about to say, can you really, like, I'm looking at, like, if you've done 2 or 3, like, can you really consider that being you cut the grass?
I did have.
Okay.
And I did about 4 paths, because I did 2.5 by myself. And then I did like 2 with Carter. Okay. Yeah. And I weeded too. I couldn't figure out how to weed too well. And my assistant that I had didn't know what he was doing really. So we was out there pinky in the brain trying to figure it
out. That's funny.
But it got done.
That's good.
It got done.
That's good. That's
the grass is no longer crazy high.
Yeah. Yeah, it's growing quick out here now, man. Definitely growing quick.
It's that time. Yeah. How was your Memorial Day weekend?
It was good, man. It was good. What we do, I think it was Sunday. So Sunday we went to my folks' house. That was fun. Saturday I'll take a step back. Saturday we went to the farmer's market. I had mentioned it a couple weeks ago. I think on the last podcast, matter of fact, I mentioned that we went to the farmer's market that week before. And the Coop was there, the place I like to get, just like a food truck out there. I like to get like the little breakfast burrito that they have. So that was really, really good. Mm-hmm. We also picked up a couple of groceries, some stuff I'm going to put on the grill probably here in the next couple of weeks, maybe Father's Day or maybe 4th of July. So I got some things for that. And we just walked around. It was really, really nice. This past weekend was gorgeous, man.
This whole week has been gorgeous.
Yeah, it has been.
It rains at night. You wake up in the morning. It's kind of cool.
That's true.
It warms up, to a nice temperature to do water activity. Right. And then it kind of cools back. That's the perfect weather.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So yeah, on Saturday we did the farmer's market. We hung out. It's funny. I actually took my kids. So Brooke and I've taken Brooke before, and I think even my son, but he was like probably like less than 1 or 1 years old at the time. But I took, when we were at the farmer's market, which is down at the oceanfront in Virginia Beach, we typically go down North Landing and go home. So we don't take the interstate, we just take the streetway. But this time we had to run some errands. We wanted to get some stuff from Home Depot and all that. So we actually rode the interstate. And so I was like, you know what? I want to take them to see where I initially moved to when I moved to Virginia. Because I've mentioned it before, I've talked about it, but my kids have never actually seen it. Now they're at their age, they can actually see stuff and remember it and all that. So it's this area called Kings Grant in Virginia Beach that it was an apartment that I lived in when I first moved here when my dad, got orders up this way. So it was pretty cool to kind of drive through the neighborhood. It's crazy. It looks so small. I remember running outside, playing out there and everything. So I kind of drove through, showed the kids the apartment that I lived in. I told them about my younger sister because my sister was born while we were living there. So that was pretty cool. And it was like, Auntie D, she lived there or whatnot. And so I sent pictures to my mom and my dad, and they were like tripping out, like, oh man, it looks the same and all that. So that was pretty cool. We did that on Saturday, kind of run around, did some errands. And then Sunday, like I mentioned, we had got some stuff to take to my parents' house because my dad and them cooked on the grill. So that was really cool. My dad, he's really into pickleball right now. So he's really competitive as I am. And so we were in the backyard. He bought this badminton net. And so we were back there playing badminton, which was pretty cool. And it's crazy because they challenged us. So my dad and my mom challenged Brooke and me in badminton. And so in my mind, I'm gonna tell it. So in my mind, I'm thinking we're gonna beat the crap out of him, right? Because I know my mom, she ain't really moving like that at all. And my dad, he's athletic, but he's 60 plus. So I'm like, we gonna get him. So we was up 11-2 on them, going to 20, and them jokers came back and beat us. It's crazy. Yeah. Came back. I was kind of disappointed. Brooke was complaining because she had some, which we both had on. I had my people know me, I wear flip-flops all day, every day. So I had flip-flops on, and so did she. Both of my parents, we were at their house, they had sneakers on. You know what I mean? So that, when it comes to moving and stuff, we was kind of limited in that. I don't make any excuses at all, but that's a fact of what happened. And plus with us being up 11, we should have finished them off. I mean, we should have done it. But, hitting that little birdie, man, on the Batman with that little thing is definitely a little difficult, man. But they end up getting it. So I was like, look, we got to get some get back. So we're going to probably try to go around there in the next week or two and try to get some get back. But yeah, it was cool. We had a good time. My dad, pretty much most of us love oysters. Like my son, he loves oysters. My mom, a little bit, but my sister likes them. My dad likes them. Brooke likes them. I love them. And so I bought over 100 oysters, and we had put them on the grill. Yeah, we bought a whole bunch. We put them on the grill.
But technically, one person can,
Yeah. I mean, I had probably like 30 of them, this weekend and this past weekend. So, we did the oyster thing, and then we had like some jerk chicken and some other stuff or whatever on the grill.
Nice.
So it was cool. Just kind of kicking it over there pretty much the whole day Sunday. Then Monday I woke up and had an early tea time and played golf with the fellas. So that was pretty cool. We had like a 7:40 tea time. And played over at Honeybee, one of the courses I haven't played at in a long time since I was like young. But we played. It was pretty cool. It started to rain towards the end, but we got a full 18 holes in. So we that was pretty cool, as well. It was funny because my buddy Sherm, he said it the night before they had, went out for drinks and all that, him and his wife. And so he was kind of a little hungover on the course. So it was pretty funny. He was kind of, muddling through the first couple of holes, and then he was able
I know that it's very typical for golfers to smoke cigars and, maybe drink a little while you're golfing. Mm-hmm. Do you guys do that at 7:40 in the morning?
No. So the times that we
y'all
play...
wait till like 11?
So let me say, so the times that we play... Because we play typically we play, at two different times. We normally play like at 7 early in the morning, or we play like around like 9. So the times we start at 9 towards like the second half of us playing, then yes, we'll do that. So like, for instance, like we played on Wednesday. Monday, we didn't do any of that, right? Because all of us had drinks the night before. So we were kind of just like doing it in competition, wanted to make sure we were focused 100%. We didn't have any drinks or any cigars. But we played again on Wednesday. At least two of us did. We played on Wednesday. And we both had we had a drink and a cigar on Wednesday. And that was we started at like 9:30, and we started to have the cigar and drink around like 11:30. So, I feel like that was, I actually told the cart girl, because, I'm not sure if you're familiar at a golf course, what happens is they have a girl or a guy, but it's typically a girl. That's why they call her the cart girl. She drives around the course, and she has food, snacks, drinks, cigars, things of that nature that you can buy, so you don't have to like leave the course and go to the clubhouse. And so it was funny. The cart girl came around to us, and we bought a drink, And it was funny. I was like, don't judge us, because she was like, yeah, y'all the first ones to pop the seal today. You're the first ones to order a drink or whatnot. And I was like, well, yeah, don't judge us, whatever. And she was laughing. She's like, no, I ain't gonna judge you. It's a beautiful day or whatnot. So, but yeah, I think that answered your question. So, but yeah, that was the Memorial weekend. It was cool. We had a good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you do anything on Memorial Day?
You said what?
Did you do anything on Memorial Day?
Let me see. Well, that was Monday. Yeah, Monday we played golf.
So that.
Monday we played golf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about. I missed that. I thought you were talking about Friday, Wednesday. You went twice this week.
Yeah. Yes, we played twice. We played. Okay. Yeah, I was talking. The Monday was the one we had the early tee time at 7:40 something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where my buddies, had a little hangover. Then Wednesday we played as well, because that's typically what we play is on Wednesdays. Wednesdays the day I was just referencing, us getting, a drink and a cigar.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, so getting into mortgage news, you got any upcoming any scenarios that you want to tell the people? Any tips?
Yeah, man. I had two scenarios that I'm working through right now. I feel like it would be pretty cool to share. One of the scenarios is a business owner. So I got a guy I'm helping. He's a truck driver, and he tends to do his taxes late. A little bit of both, a little bit of two reasons. One, just kind of getting to it later, getting an extension and filing it later. The other reason is, he has, with him being a truck driver, he has so many contracts. So it's a lot of information, a lot of stuff that he has to kind of collect to be able to file the taxes. So I understand the delay in filing it. That's what the extension is there for, is for those situations that call for it. But it's kind of hurting him in this situation that we're in right now, because he is buying a home and he's doing an FHA loan, right? And so with him buying a home using an FHA loan, the taxes that I'm talking about that he actually filed at the top of this year, he filed in February, are from 2022. So it's not even, I know right now we're just finishing up, kind of, sort of, I guess, depending on, if you filed yet or not. But, most people right now are filing their 2023 taxes, right? Should have filed 2023 taxes. Mm-hmm. He hasn't even got to that point at all yet. He just finished filing his 2022 taxes in February of this year. And with him being a business owner, he actually does owe a significant amount in taxes, right? And so what happened is, with him owing taxes and him, qualifying for FHA financing, and this being a year that we're not in the current tax year, it's a previous tax year, FHA requires you to have to make either pay your taxes all in full, that's the first option, or if you're not going to pay your taxes in full, if you're going to set up a payment plan with the IRS, you have to have 3 consecutive payments made to be able to purchase the home, right, and move forward. And so he's in a situation where we've had to delay his closing for about a month now because of that, right? And this was something that, I knew about, but it was something that, he at first told me he was going to pay his taxes. Like his plan was to pay them all off. He had put money to the side for it, but I guess something kind of came up with one of the trucks, because he has several trucks that he has, as far as his business, and so he just wasn't in a position to do that. So with him shifting that, it kind of shifted what we were able to do, limited us where now he has to make those 3 payments. So just want to make sure that people understood and know that out there, because I think that's something that I've had happen before a couple of times, where if I'm working with somebody who's filing taxes from a previous year, not the current tax year that we're in. That you're really going to need to allow enough time for those payments that you're making towards paying those taxes back to have happened. So 3 payments when it comes to FHA financing. Yeah. So I think that's something that's important to share.
Yeah, I think that being self-employed in general is something that you also have to consider when making a big purchase like a mortgage or a car, because you have to plan. That's one of the things that self-employed borrowers have to do. When you work for a company, typically that company is making deductions for you, put money aside for your federal taxes, contributing towards health care, all these different things for you. That's the benefit of not being self-employed. But when you are self-employed, you have to be responsible for putting money to the side to pay your taxes. And when you don't, at the end of the year, guess what? You get hit with a large tax bill. So if you know that you are a person that doesn't pay quarterly and you're going to wait until the end of the year, and then you also are in the process of purchasing a home or you want to buy a house, just plan accordingly, Take that 2-year time frame to get your affairs in order, because you also have to show that you have income. You got to prove that you have the income from your self-employed business. So there's just a lot of maintenance that you have to do being self-employed if you're looking to buy a house. And one of those things is being prepared for situations like this.
That's right. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Also, I had another situation that came up as well. I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted texting about this one right now, so it's currently going on. But it was actually a unique situation. I kind of want to pose the question to Sophia and see how you would handle the situation from, your perspective as far as the situation goes, right? So I got a buyer that's actually supposed to close on a home today. And the situation is we're having a slight delay potentially. And today's the last day of the month, as everyone knows. It's May 31st. So, a lot of times people want to make sure they get closed before they go into a new month, because they could potentially have, to pay their rent over for the next month or whatnot, right? So, today is very paramount as far as people trying to, get sign on the dotted line to get into their new home. So for this particular situation, this buyer is purchasing a home, and we just found out yesterday that the seller has another loan on the property that they were not aware of. And now it would require the seller to actually have to bring money to closing to be able to close, because I believe it's around like $8,500 because right now, the way it's currently set up, the seller wouldn't make any money. Like, the seller's kind of going through a rough patch right now.
They're just trying to get rid of the house.
They're just trying to get rid of the house, right?
Yeah.
And so, they found out, the title company just told, us on the buyer side, like, hey, they located another deed of trust that said, hey, there's $8,500 that's owed, against, or the Salinas against the property right now. And so we were like, oh man, could we scramble? Because the first thing that they were thinking about, hey, we have to go through a short sale. And we were like, man, no, we don't want to go through a short sale, because that process, first of all, you don't want to put something like a short sale on your credit. Correct.
Right?
Yeah. From the seller's perspective, she's already kind of going through a rough patch. So we don't want to, have to, add more fuel to that situation.
Correct.
And so that's one. And also with a short sale, you got to get bank approval. And I've been a part of short sales, man. That's been a whole year for a bank to approve, even longer than that.
Even longer than that.
So, this situation is kind of a time sensitive thing where we want to try to go ahead and get the buyer closed and the seller, selling the home so they can both move on.
Absolutely.
So the first thought was the short sale. Everyone immediately was like, nah, I don't think that's something that we want to do, just because of the unknown, the time frame. The second thing that we thought of was like, hey, let's see if the seller can get a loan, like a personal loan from their bank or whatnot, where they could just, bring that to the table when they sell the home. And so now they still have that payment, but at least it's no longer a mortgage payment, and they can just maybe manage that smaller payment because they're only borrowing $8,500. So we looked at that option, and the seller, from my understanding, at least the information we're getting from the listing agent, is that the seller, because of the rough patch, and they're not in the position to be able to borrow any money from anybody. Like their credit is shot. So they're not in a position to be able to do that. So I was sitting there kind of thinking, and this is where I love our job, Sophia. I was sitting there trying to problem solve, because that's what we do a lot, is try to figure out solutions to problems, right? So I was looking at it, and I noticed that the appraisal for this particular purchase came in at $12,000 more than what they're currently under contract for. So just giving real numbers, it's a smaller purchase. It's a home in Hampton, a small rancher. They're under contract for $229,000, but the appraisal came in at $241,000. So what I suggested, and I said, hey, I'm not saying that you have to or anything like that, but a way to remedy the situation would be, there's room for you to increase the sales price by the $8,500 that is
available.
That is available. I mean, it's actually $12,000 is available, but $8,500 you can list the sales price, which then now increases the amount that the seller is getting when they sell the home, and that allows you to buy the home. Obviously, you're paying more than what you guys agreed upon, So you are kind of taking away from the equity, up front, but at least it remedied the situation that we could still get this thing done today. And so he was like, they talked to the buyer. The buyer talked to his parents about it. I kind of explained the different scenarios around it, and they were on board with doing it, and then everybody kind of chipped in. So the buyer is not having to increase the sales price they're increasing it by $6,000. So what they're doing is instead of the full $8,500, they're increasing it by $6,000, and both agents involved are reducing their commission. They're taking out $1,250. So they're reducing their commission by that amount to also give credits in there to make up that difference to kind of help out the whole situation. And so I thought that was pretty cool with me just kind of coming to, that solution and being able to present it to them and everybody being on board with doing it. Mm-hmm. And it is, from the buyer's perspective, it is kind of a sucky thing because, initially you had the seller agree to sell the house to you at $229. So you're walking in with $12,000 of instant equity. Mm-hmm. Now by doing this, you're moving the price up to $235. You still have equity, still got $6,000 in equity, but you are taking away some of that instant equity, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to ask you, Sophia, would you do something like that? Let's say you were buying a house and you really wanted to buy this house and you didn't want to have to, pay next month's rent, starting tomorrow or Monday. Would you be okay with increasing the sales price, really just benefiting only the seller to help them sell the house to you? It all depends. I know that's what you always say. Yeah. It all depends. But go ahead. But answer the question, though. I mean, this is the situation that's in front of you.
I feel like I have a good heart, so probably, yeah. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, it's situational. Like, if I was in a situation where I really didn't have to move, then no. But if I was in a situation where...
What if you really wanted it? Because typically people buy houses because they really want it and they want to live there. So this particular house, the buyer really wants the house. So just think about it from this perspective. When you buy a house, you really want to live in that house. That particular house.
Yeah. So yeah, I would. Okay. I like helping people. I mean, I feel like that's a personality trait that I have. So yeah, mm-hmm. I would, but it's still situational. Yeah. Depends on all the circumstances. So mm-hmm. yeah, I would. Cool. I would help.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I would definitely do it too.
Yeah.
So
it's just I live by. There isn't always a answer that's going to be yes or no to every situation. Mm-hmm. I may be presented with one situation that looks very similar, but depending on the circumstances that I'm in that moment, it may be something that I would never do, but then if something changes, it may be something that I would absolutely have to do. So, correct. I never have like a blanket, like, nah, that's never me type of attitude because things change. You change, right? As you get older, I was going to say as you get younger, but as you get older, your perspective changes. Situational changes, mm-hmm. right? And so I feel like that's why I always say, like, it depends on the situation. Not every situation is the same. Not every moment is meant to be counted as the same.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree 100%. That's what's up. Yeah, yeah. So,
but that definitely isn't the norm. So please, people, don't ever think that you can get a buyer to do whatever that you want them to do.
Correct. Now, like I said, this situation is it's a unique situation.
Very unique.
But it was just, again, not trying to toot my own horn, but me just coming up with a solution. I'm tooting it. That's funny. We always joke with my daughter. Toot. We always joke with my daughter because when she be like, I know hopefully she'll hear this, put her business out there, when she fart at the house, be like, man, you tooting, girl. You tooting. You know what I mean? So she always be looking and smiling or whatever when we say that, But yeah, not the toot my own horn, being able to come with that solution because I really feel like.
Go like this.
Yeah. I really feel like, without me bringing or proposing that situation or that, that solution, he definitely wouldn't be closing today. Yep. Right. And then two, like this may just not happen in general. You know what I mean? Because the seller's in a situation where they're strapped. I mean, they're out of resources. So, with, being able to tap into the instant equity. And my understanding, what also made the buyer feel a little bit more at ease was that the house he's going to fix up anyway. You know what I'm saying? So he already planned to fix it up and kind of get it more, more suitable, more updated or whatnot. And the agent, told him like, hey, and she showed him comps like, hey, if the house, once you do fix the house up, I mean, it'll easily be valued around $285, so that gave him some peace of mind knowing like, hey, it's not like I'm robbing myself or taking money from myself. Like, I mean, I am a little bit, but there's still a greater
pocket. It was finance. I mean, when you think in mortgage cost and everything, I mean, that's correct. Like a $5 increase in his payment.
Yeah, so his payment actually rose $30. It was $30. $30. Yeah, it's $30 difference in his payment because of the change. Yeah. Okay. So,
wow, $6,000 was $30.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yep, $6,000 was $30.
Mm-hmm. Well, now I think it's time for some BS.
Yeah. It's definitely time for some BS. I know we had talked about it last time we recorded. I seen, I'm on the golf tip and I watch golf all the time. I seen my guy, Scottie Scheffler, the one we were talking about who got arrested right before he was headed to the clubhouse to play golf that day in that tournament.
In the
rain. The charges got dropped against him. I think it was a couple days ago this week. The charges got dropped him. They actually, suspended the officer who arrested him because I guess he didn't go through proper protocol. I think they said something about his body cam wasn't on, amongst something else. So I guess in this situation, I guess Scottie kind of got the last laugh in that, situation. But it was it's crazy. I mean, this is what I expected though, as far as the outcome. I mean, it sounded like it was just a situation that just kind of went south. Yeah, it went a little south or whatnot. But I mean, it was no harm really, I would say, in either person per se. Like both people were kind of doing their jobs in a sense. Right. So yeah, I'm glad to see that, they can move on from the situation and it's not like they got to go to court and work through all of these legal stuff. So
if you're a police officer, you better wear that body cam.
Yeah. That's something I know that's been heavy. I mean,
matter of fact, speaking of police officers, did you see in the news where there was a guy who just recently, I don't know if he got suspended or if he kind of resigned, but he got called to a incident. He picked up this girl, and obviously police cars have trackers, so he didn't take her to the precinct to be put in jail. He ended up stopping somewhere because she was talking about, potentially having relations with him. Oh. And he got out the car and got in the back seat with her, and the door closed, and he was locked in the back seat with the girl. And because you can't open the doors from the inside, even if you're a cop, you can't open the doors. He had to radio for someone to come and let him out the back seat.
That's crazy.
And in this time frame, he disengaged his body cam. Mm. But he tried to say that he pulled over something with her and hit his foot. He put his foot in and then the door accidentally closed. Mm.
That's interesting.
He was trying to get some booty on duty.
Booty on duty. That is the word. That is the name of the podcast this week. Booty on duty. Jeez. You came up with that on top of your head, man. That was booty on duty.
Yes.
Oh, man. That's crazy. So I'm assuming he's not a police officer no more, right? Or is he something suspended?
I haven't followed up. He's either suspended or he resigned, but he was embarrassed.
Yeah? Was he a brother? Do you know?
I don't know. Honestly, I can't remember.
Dang, I ain't hear about that one.
Though.
Well, okay, I ain't hear about that one.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was kind of like one of those situations where you know better. Yeah. Just get her number. Yeah. And then call her after, take her, do what you gotta do. Yeah. And then call her after if that's what you like, right? If you a man that like the convicted
I think it was.
Get her number. Why would you risk being in uniform with the body cam in a police car,
pretty sure,
and then you want to pull over. I mean, it ain't that much urge in the world.
Man, nah, I'm pretty sure that none of that stuff crosses his mind. I'm pretty sure in that moment, and all of us men have fell victim to it to a degree, depending on the circumstances. But, women, that's why we say y'all rule the world. So when y'all show interest, sometimes men forget, or not forget, but they don't think about some of those other things that are going on. They just focused in on the prize. So I'm not gonna say I'm surprised that it happened, but he should have definitely been more aware of what was going on. Like you said, he should have handled that situation a lot differently.
Yeah. You lost it all.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you know, 9 times, I mean, maybe he may get hired somewhere else as a police officer, but damn, like, come on now. Like, you gotta have more sense.
Speaking of that, we can roll into the next thing that I saw. Old Trump.
Oh.
Donald Trump.
What, he got 30 convictions?
30. He was convicted of 34 felonies yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but the crazy thing about it is he's still favored to be the president in here in about 5-6 months.
But you can't. Can you have a felony and be the president? I don't think you can you?
So what they said.
I gotta Google that.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm explaining to you.
Know?
I'm explaining to you.
Oh, okay.
I was watching because we were watching TV yesterday, and it popped up on the screen like breaking news or whatever.
Right.
And then they had like lawyers like talking about the situation because that's all the questions that everybody was posing. But they claim
like I'm over here like I'm watching the podcast. Go ahead.
Yeah. So they said that what would happen in this situation is he's definitely going to appeal, the conviction, and the appeal process could take a long time. They said that definitely the appeal process would not be complete prior to the election.
Right.
So he could be elected president in November 5th when the vote,
But he's already convicted, so the appeal doesn't change the conviction.
It do. So when you appeal something, that means you don't agree to whatever, and that's in the state of New York, they have an appeal system. So until it's made final, like right now, they've convicted him, but he's appealing the decision, and so now they have to go through the whole appeals process.
Okay, so if
technically
he didn't
right
get
now,
appealed, then what would he be considered? He's not a felon yet. He's just convicted, but not
correct.
What?
Correct. So it's not. He's been convicted by the jury.
Right. But not what?
Then there's a process that you can actually request an appeal.
Oh.
And you can request an appeal. If you are awarded an appeal, then you have to go through the process again with the new jury. So therefore, so in the long run, in the short version, he's been convicted, but he has an opportunity to be able to get a second chance at going through court again.
And so how many times can you appeal?
That I don't know. I don't know how many times you can appeal. I just know that you have the right to appeal.
I know that.
And so they said with this being the first time he's ever had a felony charged against him, and with him being a first-time offender, they said that he will most likely be granted an appeal. They said he will most likely not have to serve any jail time because he's a first-time offender, and it's not
Why
something.
Why are they not this lenient on black people?
And they said because it's something like it's not a criminal. Like it wasn't something that was like I forget the word they used, but it wasn't like somebody was hurt or harmed or anything like that. It was just something that was done.
Victimless crime.
Yeah, that was a victimless crime, I guess. There you go. That's the word to use. You know what I mean? So, and that's what I said. It was funny.
Oh.
It was funny. I was reading because there were people I saw it on social media. And then I see people commenting like, dang, so you try to tell me, they were like, what's the point? People were like, what's the point of ever having a background check ever again in life now? You're trying to tell me that a person can run the country and be charged for 34 felonies and still become the president. So he was like, you got people who get a weed charge and they can't get a job at so-and-so or whatever, but this guy could, have 34 felonies against him and potentially still become the president.
Absolutely.
And I agree. I mean, that's like, crazy when you think about it, but that's the law that like that's crazy. Like,
that's
money.
Crazy. It's the money.
Yeah. And then they were also talking about like
new laws.
Correct. And then they were talking about like, okay, let's say even if he was convicted or whatever, they were like, it would cost too much money to put him in jail because they couldn't put him in like the general population because of his celebrity and because of, just people having access to him.
So they would have
to put him somewhere else, and then they would have to have like a certain amount of people watching him and all that. So they said it would cost so much money that it's actually looked at as being almost more of a burden to put him in jail. So I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
That's okay. We don't need to put him in jail. We just need to put him in a place where he can't go nowhere. Yeah. You can comfortably live in the Trump hotels for the rest of your life if that's what you want.
Yeah, and they were saying like it's going to be a definitely a new life for him because Trump, he has planes and private planes, and he normally goes and travels all the time to different places. And they were like, so if he becomes the president and he
can't
has
go to a lot of countries.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. Like so like this just opens up a whole bunch of different things. But the thing is that's in his favor though, Sophia, is that it's not a final thing yet. So right now he got convicted, but he can go through the appeal process. Knowing him, he can get lawyers to continue to appeal it or whatever, however long you can appeal it, and they can stretch it out longer than the whole presidency. We've seen that happen before. We've seen people appeal stuff and do this and do that. Like I've watched Dateline so many amount of times where people appeal decisions and do this and do that and say that this is this, because he's already saying like the juror is a Democrat and they didn't want him to do this, and he screams it from the mountaintops, you know what I mean, or whatever. So it's just it's crazy. I saw that yesterday. I was kind of tapped in watching. It kind of caught my attention.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I mean, I'm not a big, I don't know. I just don't follow that. But if you think about it, right, let's say he is convicted, and then let's say by the grace of whatever God you believe in, he still becomes the president. Mm-hmm. Typically with law, they use court cases to pretty much fight whatever case that they're currently working on.
Okay.
Right? They use I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a lawyer or attorney, but it's like case laws. So they go back and they look at other court cases and they determine how that case was tried. Mm-hmm. And then if an attorney is working on a new court case, they can use that case law to prove their point. Mm-hmm. Right? So if Trump gets convicted and becomes president, do you know how many cases will be overturned because of that? Because they would try to reopen cases to use that case law to potentially change the verdict on other cases, or in the future use that case. Like, it would just cause chaos, I think, in the U.S.
I don't know. I mean, the way they was explaining it yesterday, I mean, I can understand how you're looking at it in that way, but we see it happen all the time where there's a verdict on something, somebody appeals it, and if they have...
No, I'm saying in a case where he is convicted and still becomes president.
Got you. So, I mean, the thing is, he would be convicted after he became president. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way that could happen, is if it happened after the fact. You know what I mean? He can't be, because right now he's convicted, right? Mm-hmm. And then they said July 11th, so here in about, a month and a couple weeks, that's when the sentencing is. So that's when he would find out what he would get, if it's jail time, if it's probation, if it's whatever they could potentially do, right? Make him pay a whole bunch of money or something, right? So from what they're saying,
so
his
on
legal
July
team,
11, when he's tried, he's officially a felon.
Correct, but they can appeal. Again, that's what I'm saying. They said that he can appeal because, again, and he has a lot of things in his favor because he's a first time. Like they said, they went the attorneys that they were talking, that was sitting at the table talking, they were like, he's a first time offender of this. It's not something that really that hurt anybody, and they said that because he has lawyers, because he's already saying that it was an unfair trial. He's been saying it the whole time, and he's very loud. He said it was rigged, just like he said the election was rigged. He said this process has been rigged. He said the Democrats put people in place to make sure that this was the outcome or whatever. So he's saying all these outlandish things. Maybe he believes it. Maybe he's just saying it just to kind of ruffle feathers. But he's rich, so he has attorneys who's going to be able to figure out ways to be able to have him appeal the decision. Yeah. And then we all know, I've seen it here even on the local level, when you appeal something, it could take a long time
I know
before it's
that.
tried
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
So I mean, by him appealing something, that means that is not a final. Especially if the judge grants the appeal. If they grant the appeal, then it's just like it's brand new again. You know what I'm saying?
I just always thought that, and I could be ignorant. I just always thought that
you gotta think about
when you go to trial and you get sentencing, yes, you can appeal it, but you're still a felon in that moment. That's what I always thought. And then you can appeal it to overturn the felony, but once you're sentenced, you are technically a felon. That's what I thought.
Sentence. Yeah. Sentence.
I mean, yeah,
sentence. That's the thing. But that's what I'm trying to say. He's gonna appeal it, so he's gonna try to avoid that process. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so he's not gonna get sentenced.
So the sentencing is supposed to be July 11th.
Right.
What they're saying is that he's gonna appeal
instead of being sentenced, he's gonna appeal that day.
Correct. Okay. Well, he's gonna appeal in general. I don't know if it's that day, today, tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, he's gonna appeal the decision of yesterday.
Okay, so then the sentencing will never happen. Apparently,
I don't know. We don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. That's just what they're saying. That's the way around him still being able to run for president.
If the appeal will stop the sentencing, I get that. But I thought they were going to proceed to sentence and then appeal.
Yeah,
that's
I don't know.
What I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't know if they appeal. Again, I've never been in this. I got a buddy who's an attorney, so I'm pretty sure I could ask him.
Your sister is an attorney, too.
Yeah, she is, too. Yeah. That is true. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know exactly when the appeal part happens, but from my understanding, you can appeal a decision, and if you're granted the appeal, then it starts the case all over again. Obviously, that still looms over you, right?
Yeah.
But you still have to, you still get another go at it, basically.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So with him having all that money and power and all that, most people feel that he's going to be granted an appeal.
Oh,
that's what most people feel. So so that's crazy. That's crazy. But the last thing that I wanted to bring up was I saw a situation on social media. I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, I can't wait to share this, with everyone and with Sophia and see what their thoughts were. But I seen it on Instagram. I can't remember, some real estate guy's page that I follow, and what they were talking about was it's a situation where it's a husband and a wife. They're at the airport. And their flight takes off in 15 minutes. So they're at the gate, right, getting ready to go. And they're getting ready to go visit the husband's daughter. So it's not a child that the husband and wife have together. It's a daughter that the husband has, I'm assuming, obviously with someone else, right? And the wife says that she wants to get Starbucks, right? And I've kind of been in, not this exact situation, but my wife has done this before, kind of where it's like, hey, it's kind of cutting it close. You really want that Starbucks, whatever. But in this situation, it was 15 minutes before the plane was supposed to take off. She wanted Starbucks. He insisted, like, hey, it's too close. Let's just get on the plane, whatever. Well, another part about this that I heard was they were supposed to go see the daughter, I guess, previously, and the wife overslept, and so therefore this is their second go at now trying to go see that husband's daughter. So I guess there was back and forth. The wife said, hey, I'm gonna go to Starbucks at another terminal too, so it wasn't like in the immediate area where they were at. She goes to Starbucks, and I'm assuming it's the gate attendant there said, hey, I'm about to close the door, plane about to take off. So the husband left his wife and then went on the plane and flew to go see his daughter. And so I seen a lot of back and forth about it, like, oh, how you gonna leave your wife? How you gonna do this? How you gonna do that? Then I seen a lot of people talking about, like, hey, well, she made him decide between his daughter and then his daughter and her, and and he told her, hey, this is what's gonna happen, and they've already missed her one time, so that's on her. So I wanted to get, as you were being a woman, how do you feel about that situation? What is your perspective on it? Is he wrong for leaving his wife at the airport to go see his daughter with all those circumstances that had transpired?
No. He should have got on that plane. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Got anything else to say about it? I mean, just he should have got on that plane. Any
again, I'm situational. So I think that if it was, let's say this was his very first time, they never had any incident with missing any chances to see the kid, you know, and she was just like, oh, I'm going to go get some Starbucks. And he's like, okay. And, you know, the circumstance arise, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that he should have stayed and waited for his wife if that was a first time instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if she got a history of trying to avoid this man going to see his child, then yeah, he needed to get on that plane, because there's no excuse where a woman, another woman should come before this child and it'd be like multiple instances of that.
Okay.
Like, no, I don't believe in that. I think that he did the right thing. Gotcha. I really do. I think that she was wrong. You know, when you're a step parent, you have to, it's a hard juggle, you know what I mean? Because you have to know that, hey, this person has a child, but then you also have to know that, hey, I'm still his wife. It's like that back and forth, right?
Yeah.
But then there's certain things that you can do to avoid that type of conflict. She could have just waited to get Starbucks. They would have gave her free coffee on the plane. You know what I mean? If you were that tired, you could have got free coffee on the plane. You could have got a Coke. You could have waited until the next stop to get the Starbucks. I mean, there was so many other different things that you could have done. And then going to another turn, not only if they were at the gate and the Starbucks was right there and she could see the gate and then they were calling for last flight, but she was in another terminal. So if you're in another terminal, that means that you're not even hearing the gate calls.
Yeah.
So you know for a fact that that was wrong. She knows.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I would have, that's a tough situation to be in. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It's a tough situation to be in.
It's a tough situation because I can't imagine leaving my wife
right
at the airport. Like, I just can't imagine doing
that's
something
what I'm
like
saying.
that.
If it was like a situation
and I think
where
that's
she
why
was
it's a
supportive wife to that child,
yeah.
and
but who said? I mean, we don't know. I mean, she very well could be. I mean, like you can't.
That's why I said it's situational. It really depends on the relationship and everything.
Yeah, I guess I'm looking at it from with the information that we know, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know.
She sabotaged it before.
I wouldn't say she overslept. So you can't say somebody sabotaged something. I mean, people oversleep. I mean, you've all overslept and supposed to do something.
So where was he? Did they both oversleep? Did she oversleep so he had to sit there and wait for her?
I mean, she overslept so far.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. But
it's all situational.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying, like, I don't know. I guess with the information that we know, you know, we can't always, when something happens, we can't always assume the latter. You know what I'm saying? Like, just based off the information we know, that's just basing off, you know, I would just base how you view the situation based off the information we know. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm pretty sure there's more, you know, I mean, we're not them, so we don't know all the different nuances, you know, but that's just life, you know? I mean, we watch TV, we don't know all the stuff. We see stuff happen. We don't know everything that happens.
Absolutely.
You know?
So
but we still make a decision based on the information that's in front of us.
My thought behind that is that it's situational. It depends on the circumstance between that husband, his wife, and that kid and how often that happened. If it was a first-time offense, then no, he shouldn't have left his wife. If it was a situation of leaving your wife behind, I don't believe in that. But if it's a situation where there has been times that for whatever reason or why she hasn't been able to make it and allow him to see his child, then yes, he should have got on that plane.
Gotcha. Cool.
That's how I feel. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think that it would be very difficult for me to leave my wife at the airport to go see my daughter. You know, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's very difficult. I would probably honestly say, because I'm going back and forth with it, I would probably say, now I think about it, I probably wouldn't be able to leave, be honest with you. Yeah, I probably would not be able to leave, you know, because I kind of look at it in a way where, based on the information we know, right, there wasn't anything saying that the wife was, you know, sabotaging stuff. I mean, they said that she overslept, which I've done that before. I've tried to go to the airport one time. I think I mentioned it on the podcast before, where I had to end up getting a later flight because my mom overslept and she was supposed to come over and watch the kids. I had a really early flight. Brooke and I was going like Vegas, I think, or something like that. We had like a 6 o'clock in the morning flight, and my mom got there like 15 minutes late, and it messed us up. I don't think my mom was sabotaging the situation. She overslept. It happens. So to look at that in a negative and say, hey, that person is purposely trying to do something to sabotage it, I can't go there because I don't know that. I'm just going off of, hey, the person overslept. That's what was told. I couldn't just leave my spouse at the airport. I feel like there's other ways that you could still make that situation happen, versus leaving your spouse at the airport. I feel like that leaving a person at the airport, that's going to be a long-term fight, a issue. Like, that's a big thing versus, hey,
so it wouldn't
we
be
missed
a
the flight.
long-term issue or fight with your daughter?
No, I'm not saying that. Well, I mean, I could still get there though, right? I mean, I'm typically when it comes to like missing a plane or flight, I mean, maybe you have to wait a couple more hours to go. I mean, I've been in that exact position, position before. Again, we don't know where the daughter lives and all of that. I'm assuming it's stateside. I'm assuming she don't live out the country or nothing like that. So I feel like they could still remedy the situation and go see her and just show up a little bit later.
All right.
So yeah, that's how I look at it.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you listening to the podcast. You can follow me at skb_mortgage and.
Yep, you can follow me at Bryan BRYAN _ Royster.
All right, guys. See you next week.